Dr. Pam Turner, and welcome to Academic Coaching for World Changers. This is our NCE group. This is the July 11th. Where did time go? So tonight I'm going to talk about how to answer questions. And really what we're looking for is how to look for those key terms in and that's called the meat of the question. Sometimes we'll go back up and, prove to me in the question. You've got the question and the answers. I'm going to say that's the stem. Go back in the stem and tell me what you see in the stem. Okay. Can you hear me, Janice? Sorry, guys. So anyway, so when it comes to the questions, what we're going to do is we're going to look for those words. If I say Gestalt, what's the first term that comes to mind? Exactly. Come on. So in Texas, you should really know. So Gestalt, of course, is by Fritz Perls. Empty chair. Thank you. I knew the girl from Texas would know because that's what Dr. Phil used to say. Okay. So exactly. So Gestalt therapy is by Fritz Perls. Okay. And what you're going to need to really learn to look for is just the terms that go with Fritz Perls and Gestalt. So the test is not looking that you know every single thing there is, but they are looking that do you know enough that you could easily put this term into the test. So for Gestalt, what I'm going to look for is he was based on the here and now. Okay, so focus on the here and now. The word unfinished business, that belongs to Gestalt. He saw you need to finish the business that you were in before we could work on the here and now. And the empty chair technique was one of the things that he used to get rid of that unfinished business. Okay, so Dr. Phil would say, pretend your mama sitting in that chair. What's some things you want to say to her? And that's pretty common. That's something that many people use, whether or not you're a Gestalt person or not. So, excuse me. That term is eclectic. Eclectic means that I pull from everybody. So sometimes I'm cognitive and sometimes I'm psychodynamic and all that good stuff, but I pull from everybody. That's eclectic. Integrative, that means I have my own theory. I'm pretty much a CBT person, but occasionally I'll pull in some Gestalt because that's my empty chair. Okay, so those terms are things you need to know for the test. So Gestalt, formation process, here and now. The therapist was the expert with Gestalt. Okay. And figure ground, does that ring a bell if I say that? That term is called figure ground or ground figure. So that really is kind of a term that we'd see about Gestalt and Fritz Perls. Okay, and had to do with your view. You don't have to know more about that than that. You really don't. Just know that what that term is called. Okay, all those things are pointing to Gestalt. Fritz Perls, Gestalt. He came along right around the Freudian times, so he was a bit of a psychoanalytic person. So if I say psychoanalytic and psychodynamic for the test, they're used interchangeably. So what happened was, so back in the day, we used to use a psychoanalytic approach. And that really was that we could have someone sit on our couch and they were facing that way. And I was making out my grocery list and we were talking and etc. They could talk and talk forever. That was before HMOs came along. And I really could just kind of charge somebody, quite a bit of money just to kind of sit and share their problems with me, and my job was to kind of translate it. So I did start off. I'm psychoanalytically trained. That was pretty much. I graduated in the early '90s. That was very popular. We were all one. That's what everyone did. So when HMOs came in, and that's that managed healthcare, so you only get a few number of sessions. It said that we're not going to pay for psychoanalytic theory. That someone can't lay on your couch for 25 years, and we pay for it. They cut us down to like 12 or 13 sessions. So psychoanalytic then made that became a psychodynamic. So it started off as a longer term therapy, but now it is a short term therapy. But when you see those things, what you know is that it is Psychoanalytic psychodynamic is unconscious. Freud. I'm going to think of Freud. So I'm thinking the things he brought from the conscious to the unconscious. Okay. So tell me, what kind of questions would you look for if it's a Freud answer? What kind of terminology would you look for? Id, ego, superego? Yeah, that's my id, ego, superego. Free association. So for the test, free association actually does go to Freud, but in real life, there are lots of, in real life, it's a Carl Jung thing. Okay, so it's a Carl Jung thing in real life. Let me just make sure I've gotten this one. Okay. So guys, I have got like the other link open. I'm going to send all of you to another link. I'm going to stop this, and I do